Ciao ragazzi, my name is Anthony. Welcome back to Inter Worldwide. Second piece of content in around about 12, 13 hours time. How could we not, man? It's Champions League against not just a big side, not just a huge club on the pitch. We've got the kings, the CEOs, the OGs of online fandom, of content creation. Bro, it's been so long since Inter have played Arsenal. I've wanted this for 5 or 6 years, and we're here today. And I have the honor and the privilege of welcoming Saad to Inter Worldwide from Saad's Football Corner. Bless up, my brother. How you doing?
Yeah, man. Listen, can't complain, man. Big up to you for having me. Big up to all the Inter fans watching and everybody watching on my channel as well. Welcome. Make sure you like and subscribe to both of us. Yeah, both of us. Just like and subscribe. That's all we ask. You know what I mean? We're giving you just prime content. So listen, man. I'm good, man. I can't complain. Hopefully you're doing good as well, bro. And yeah, man. Let's get into it, bro. I'm ready, man.
Thank you, bro. Thank you for agreeing to join during this time slot. I've got nice energy in the morning, and it's good to have that energy being replicated by yourself. We've got 23 people here with us right now. I appreciate the love from people from Saad's Football Corner as well. Luke, FK, thanks for coming in. I've got my own White Suburban Kid, Lucas channel members, Mattia in the house, and Anthony as well. Damn, is Barella really on the bench tomorrow? Did I see that right? I have seen that as well. We'll get into lineups pretty soon. Take everything with a grain of salt until 90 minutes before kickoff for this one, man, considering the rotation that's going on. Saad, before I get into this slideshow and we talk a little bit more about specifically the Inter-Arsenal relationship and this game, I want to give you a couple of minutes to talk about where you're at the moment, the current situation with your club. I mean, from an outsider's point of view, I've been a fan of Mikel Arteta and the way he has, gotten you guys back to competing over a long duration domestically. Everybody knows that competing over a domestic season for 38 games is the hardest job in the industry. And to do it against the Man City side magnifies that and makes it that much harder. However, on the flip side, I acknowledge the 5 years, one FA Cup, the cry for more, and the fact that you guys are sort of at your wits' end with this situation at the moment. I don't get to speak to Arsenal fans very, very often. Well, the ones I do live 26,000 kilometers away from the location. They live here in Sydney. They don't live in London. I've got someone from London here to give it to me raw and straight today. So go for it, bro. Don't hold back.
Yeah, listen. At the moment, the start of the season's really not gone the way we would have hoped it would. We have had a hard run, but you know as well as anybody, as a big team, even though you have a hard run, that's not an excuse. It's not an excuse to sit there and cry on. It's not an excuse to sit there and be like, oh, we got hard games. We're playing against big teams. We're away from home. You can't say that. Um, by the way, don't take anything that FK says seriously because I didn't. But she's just trying to be a troll. But yeah, listen, this is the thing now. In regards to my whole situation at the moment as a team, listen, Arteta has done an amazing job. Getting us back to where we need to be, he's done an amazing job. Building that team and having that team able to play at a very high level in the Champions League and in the Premier League is brilliant, and for them to be able to compete for the last 2 seasons. Of course, first season we kind of bottled it, or we did bottle it, and last season obviously we took City to the final day. But this season it's just completely gone backwards. We are way too defensive, and listen, I'm not really against defensive football because I don't mind defensive football, but it needs to be defensive and effective at the same time. And that's not what we're playing right now. We're playing defensive and shook football where we're just accepting and inviting the pressure onto ourselves. And that is where the whole situation lies. That is where the troubles lie for us as a team and for the manager right now. He's had a few injuries. I can understand that. But the fact that Erdegaard is missing shouldn't be affecting your football this much. It shouldn't be affecting your principles. Shouldn't be affecting the way you put out your team. Yeah, it really, really shouldn't. But I'll be honest with you. At the moment, man, it's all going tits up. If you want to
I
put it
love
into
that, bro. We say that down here as well all the
bro,
time.
bro, it's going tits up. It's going tits up at the moment, and we need a performance in this game against Inter, but we also it's what we've done until now. All of this pissing about and messing about, yeah, it's left us where Chelsea away is now our biggest game of the season because the title race could be over before we even get past January. Like it's crazy. It's actually nuts. And listen, I'm not happy at the moment. I'm pretty sure you watch our so you saw my whole rant on Sunday. So listen, I'm not happy. I'm not happy with the way we're playing. I'm not happy with the way the manager's got us going out there and performing. I'm not happy with the defensive work that he's making the attackers do. He's making them do. He's making them put defense before attacking. Like that's a problem. And
Yeah.
when there is a problem, sometimes the manager just needs to be put in his place. And I don't think there's anybody there to put him in his place and say, "Listen, you need to relax." Because listen, he's just been let out to just do whatever he wants to do. So now he's taken that upon himself. He needs to go out there and fix it. Do you know what I mean? If
Yeah.
you want to take that risk, you want to change it from what was working last season. You know what I mean? You now take that burden upon yourself. You have to hold that with all due respect, and you have to get us out of this mess because it's been
Facts.
it's been a mess. That's exactly what it's been since the start of the season, bro. To be honest, even Atalanta, man, Atalanta, that was the first awful game I watched from us, in my personal opinion.
Don't take that one too personally because they just went to Naples and slapped up Antonio Conte by 3 goals
Yeah.
on the weekend. That depth that Atalanta's got at the moment is actually
Mm,
insane from a Serie A point of view. I didn't realize, and they've got three big injuries this season as well. Scamacca is still
mm,
out, Scalvini is out, and Zaniolo just returned as well.
yeah.
Lots of depth, even in the wing back positions with Zappacosta and Quadrado coming off the
Nah,
bench.
Lookman though
Oh,
is
bro, that guy
Lookman
will
is
have this.
crazy.
I know how Gasperini and the Atalanta model operate off the pitch. That's the sort of player they'll slap 60 million on him at the end of the season. And if nobody wants to pay it, they won't care because that price will
Yeah.
not budge from them. Once Atalanta
Mm,
set a price, they set it and they keep it because they know Gasperini's job as a manager is secondary to win and impress the fans on the pitch. His first
yeah.
job is to keep the Atalanta money machine keep rolling. And that's exactly what he's done
Mm.
for a borderline decade now, bro. Maybe just a little bit less. I'm going to go to some comments because the chat's popping today. I don't want to lose sight of it. Thank you, Lucas, for gifting a membership. I really appreciate it. And
Big up,
for
bro.
continuing to be a channel member. Bro, I've got Juve channel members on here, man. How bizarre is that? Imagine, you got any Spurs channel members on your channel?
To be honest, I think I have one, but
Nice.
big up to the rivals, bro. Big up to the rivals that support the content.
It makes you feel different, bro. When when a rival comes and supports you like that, you're like, damn, we're doing something right,
I
or
guarantee you,
we're
if you
doing
hand
something
him in,
wrong.
I guarantee you, if you hand him an Inter shirt, he'll probably piss on it. So let's
100%.
just let's
I
just
would I
let's
wouldn't
just
respect
clarify
him
that.
otherwise. Oh man, big up Mattia, big up FK Luke as well. Uncle Sharma's in the house. Saad, how did you get Anthony
Big
to agree
up.
on this time? That's all me, bro. Saad was happy to comply with my time, Zeal. So maybe it's you that needs to be a little bit more flexible for me in the future, guys. Um, I agree what you said, man. You can't. The entire focal trajectory of the squad cannot shapeshift just because of one person. And
Yeah.
I linked up with another Arsenal content creator last night, and I brought this image to him, and it was bizarre to me that all your fans consider all these players such collateral misses. Some of these players you bought for decent prices. I'm looking at some of these prices, and
Mm.
how have you not been able to make an 8 million Nuno Tavares signing work, even remotely? Even remotely. Everything on this list screams a successful transfer on paper massively failed in practicality.
Mm.
And when I look at the hits here with Raya, Odegaard, Rice, there has to be more than that from this list. What are you saying about this list, man? Does this replicate your thoughts?
Listen, this list in regards to the misses, I think is a bit mad. Do you know what I
Bit
mean?
extreme?
Because I don't think a lot of them are misses. I don't think a lot of the misses on there are actually misses.
Yeah. Like, is
Um,
Trossard actually a miss? Is Zinchenko
no, no,
actually
no,
a
no.
miss?
Trossard is not a miss. Zinchenko at the moment is awful, but
Mm,
because Mo said something to me yesterday when I was on a stream with him, and Mo said to me, "Well, technically he's not a miss because him and Gabriel Jesus, when we bought them, actually were good for where we were, and they actually improved our levels. But for where we are now, we've outgrown them. So I
yeah.
can I can understand the thought process of us saying, okay, you know what? When we bought Zinchenko and Gabriel Jesus, they definitely raised us to a certain level. But we've outgrown them, and that sometimes happens in teams. But right now they're definitely looking more like misses now,
Yeah,
where we are, and they need to be got gone. Do you know what I mean? So it's definitely
yeah,
one of those ones. But listen, I think there's a Ben White. I wouldn't say that's a miss. Kai Havertz, I wouldn't say that's a miss. Thomas Partey is definitely not a miss. I know he's had some injury problems, but he's still had some solid seasons with us, and even to this season he started very, very well and played his record amount of games. During Timber, Ricardo Calafiori, I don't think you can even call them a miss or too soon either. I think they're very good players, both of them.
absolutely.
uh, but the other ones on there, Ramsdale, I don't know. For the time, he's also one where at the time we needed somebody like that to come in. Jakob Kivior, I don't even think he's at the levels. I genuinely think he wants to go to back to Italy. He wants to go back to Italy. He doesn't want to stay in England, to be honest, in my personal opinion. Jorginho was perfect for what we needed at the time.
Yep,
An
yep,
experienced player, experienced head to come around these youngsters and show them this is what we need to do. This is how we need to do it. You know what I mean? Show them how to be calm, how to be collected in certain situations. So there's a few players on there that definitely you can look at them and be like, you know what? There are some players in there that at the time it was a good signing. But then now we've just outgrown them, and that's just a natural way of football. Sometimes you outgrow players in your
yeah.
team.
Fair. Fair call, man. Thanks for that. Let's move into the interesting stuff. Now, I'll tell you right now, in 2003, I was in Canberra, our nation's capital. I was 11 years old, my first ever overnight excursion or field trip, whatever you call it, with school. And TV, like I shit you not, was this big. Like this
Yeah.
box I'm making on the screen right now is a replica of this small little black box that I was watching these extended highlights on with my friend at the time. And I remember just pointing at him with my 11-year-old voice going, look, look, that's Inter. That's my team. That's the one I'm telling you about. And that's Arsenal. Don't worry about them. We're actually good. Because in Australia, all people know are English teams. And especially back in I'm born in 1992, growing up in the mid to late 90s, turn of the millennium. Unless you are socioculturally or culturally tied with your family to a club, you support an English team. Simple as that. So when I watched them beat you guys 3-0 at Highbury, I thought this is my introduction in Europe to my team. And it was beautiful because this is right in the core of the time where I started to fall deeply in love with football. The madness happened where the return leg came at the Piazza and you guys wiped us 5-1 in that game. So talk about bizarre football, bro. This is right about the time where you guys are like golden trophy invincibles. We came to Highbury and wiped you. And then you guys came to the Miazza and scored 5 against us, 4 in the second half. So that's the way football is. Some iconic images, man. We've got Javier Zanetti and Robert Pires there. He was electric, Henri.
That Henri goal, I think it was the
Bro.
second one that he scored. Where I think he dropped Zanetti, and you have to understand Zanetti to drop Zanetti is just not something you can just do because the guy is legendary in the game, bro. So to drop him, it's not something easy to do, bro. That just shows the levels were just so high, bro, and it's just such good teams, man.
Speaking of levels, when we beat you 3-0 in the first game, we were obviously riding our high horse to the point where our captain Zanetti and our ballsy ball breaking, bro. I don't even. You need a whole podcast to talk about Marco Materazzi. I was happy. I was lucky enough to meet him in real life and spend some time with him. They're fighting over Henri's shirt after beating them 3-0. And Henri just calm and collectively takes it off. I'm pretty sure he handed it to our captain. And then 2 weeks later, went and scored, I think, 2 goals in the second half. That goal was absolutely brilliant. And yeah, man, it's iconic level shit. It's iconic level shit when you really think about it, bro.
Bro, honestly, it's mad. This is what you call vintage football. Listen, I don't think you ever get games like that anymore, man. You won't get players like that anymore on the pitch, man. It's just the game is in such a state right now, so we just need to. But it was a different era as well, man. But it brings back memories, man. It's nostalgic. It's just it's perfect, bro. Those were amazing times. And to be honest, I was very young back then, so you can only imagine, bro. I've watched tapes of this stuff, you know what I mean? And I've watched um even live, I was watching it, but it was like the understanding wasn't like fully real. Do you know what I mean? How if I'm
Yeah.
like now watching it, and it's just it's
We
it's
lived,
it's
we sort of
amazing,
lived,
man.
we lived through the glory era, but we didn't know how glorious it was when it was right in front of our
Yeah.
face.
Bro, we're
Oh
like
man.
we're like 10 years old and shit, bro. We're just living through this era, bro. And it's just like, bro, we don't
Yeah.
even understand what's going on right now, bro. It's crazy,
Yeah.
man. I actually
Big up
don't.
Harry, who's been a subscriber of mine for years and years, even before I was on camera, I think. And now
Big
he's
up
an
Harry, man.
Interista living in North London, bro. You're either going to be out in the street screaming or in your bedroom with the bedroom door closed and the windows closed and boarded up and everything, man. So thank you, everybody that's coming through from Saad's channel. I really appreciate it. Let's get back to current context. Yeah, for
Mm.
a team star-studded with potential and hype, it looks like it's starting to get real for a lot of these sides. I think it's going to be a tough one. Your form going into this game isn't great. It could be better. Our form is very good apart from this shit-stained 4-4 result. And, you know, you can win, you can draw games. That's not a problem. But when you cough up a 2-goal lead to Juve and you draw 4-4, it's still, I guess you could say it's galvanized us a bit. We'd lost the Milan derby 2-1 on match day 3 this season. And that was after going undefeated in that derby for 12 games. And after
Mm.
we lost to Milan, we went 7 unbeaten. So usually when we take a setback these days under Inzaghi, we swallow our anger. We get angry for one day and realize that we're probably going to come back stronger from this. Either
Mm.
or, our form in all competitions for our last 6 games is 5 wins and a draw. That one against Juventus. Your form is 3 wins, 2 losses, and a draw. Besides Newcastle, who did your defeat come against, bro? Is that the Atalanta one there?
Uh, no, Bournemouth. So we
Bournemouth. That's
lost
right.
we lost against Bournemouth. We drew actually against Atalanta. But it was a complete just no attack. We just
Yeah.
didn't bother attacking on that day. And then I think the draw came against Man City. No, no,
That's right.
actually,
No?
hold on, because this is from all competitions, yeah. Who
Yeah,
did
yeah.
the
That's for
draw
all
come up
competitions.
against? I'm bugging
What,
now.
what was your first 3 results in the Champions League? You had Atalanta. You won your first game. You beat PSG, didn't you?
No, no. So we had Atalanta, we had PSG, and Shakhtar. So
That's
those are
right.
the 3 games. Those are the 3 games that we played. But I'm sure if we lost, we lost. This is the loss against Newcastle. Then you have I don't even
You drew to
remember.
Liverpool. Liverpool. You drew
Yes, yes,
2-2.
yes, yes, yes. That's exactly what it was. You know what? I completely forgot, bro. I was bro. These right now, yeah. I'm in a mode where I'm just trying to forget these losses, and then we just
Yeah.
look at the summer in January, bro. It's just
Yeah,
crazy.
madness. Oh, bro, I will
Uh,
be so happy if you guys don't win today, man. Just keep digging that nail into Thiago Motta. It would be great. However, I've got money on a slight Juve win, bro. Slight Juve knock win today. We'll see what happens. Let's go into the previous results for both sides, starting from the start of October till the present day right now. Going back further just seems irrelevant. We beat Red Star Belgrade 4-0. We've had narrow wins against Torino, Roma, and Young Boys. That 4-4 looks awful, but we've capitalized on a decent schedule after that by keeping 2 clean sheets against Empoli and Venezia. So we do come into this game off the back of an undefeated streak. That's right. I had the results here. I should have just flicked towards them before. You guys beat Paris, Southampton, lost to Bournemouth, narrowly beat Shakhtar Donetsk, and then drew to Liverpool before beating Preston and losing to Newcastle. Look, we're playing you at a good time, I guess, for us, because
yeah.
you guys will be nervous. You guys we will be shaky. I don't know. I'm not an Arsenal fan. How you guys are going to react in this form of adversity? Are you going to come at us? Are you going to throw the gauntlet? Are you going to try and win this game in the San Siro? Thank you so much to Caliguna and everybody that's come through from Saad's channel. Altogether, we have about 41 people watching this live, which is awesome.
Big up, people, man. Big up. You know what? Bouncing back from adversity. Last season, we were in a situation after January where we were coming up against Liverpool at home. Now that was a home game where we needed to win. If we didn't, we go 7 points behind them, and the title race would be basically over. And we ended up beating them 3-1. We actually dominated throughout the whole game. So it wasn't they didn't get anywhere near us that game. But the only situation for me is, are we going to have certain players available? Do you know what I mean? How are we going to play with those players? So can they bounce back? They have shown before that they can, but will they at the moment? I genuinely don't know. At the moment, with the football that we're not playing the same as last season. We're not playing a similar style. We're not playing as attacking as we'd like to. We're a bit more conserved. We're a bit more defensive. So that's the only thing. That is the only thing, man. But yeah, as we're gonna speak about it now, that's a massive cog has just entered the the machine, bro. So we're
Yeah,
definitely gonna
yeah.
talk about it.
I took this screenshot last night before I went to bed. I don't know how relevant it is now because 12 to 13 hours can change a lot in terms of predicted lineups. But this was the best little article on your newsfeed on your team news that I could find. There were hopes last week that Odegaard would return to the matchday squad after 6 weeks out injured. He did travel to Milan, however, he's not starting. Ben White appeared off the bench against Newcastle, while Timber will most likely continue at left back. Calafiori is out until the international break. There might be a change of tactic from Arteta to invigorate his team. Havertz might drop into a deeper position, and Jesus may lead the line at San Siro. Tierney and Tomiyasu are also out. Your more accurate predicted lineup looks like this. I'm not too sure what you think about it or if Declan Rice is going to end up in the lineup, but you take a look at this lineup, Saad, and tell me where they got it wrong and where you think it's going to shift.
Well, Declan Rice is definitely not going to be in there. He didn't travel,
Right.
so
Okay, he didn't travel.
he's.
Cool.
I think that it's a precautionary injury thing. So they've
You
left
guys
him at
have,
home.
sorry to interrupt, you guys have Chelsea after us in 4 days, don't you?
Yes, yeah,
Yeah, we've
yeah.
got
So I think
Napoli. We've got Napoli top of the table, meaning you guys might get lucky and a couple of those bigger boys like Lautaro, Barella, and Bastoni just might start on the bench in this game.
yeah, you know what? The thing is, when I saw that, I was angry, but then I realized, like, this is what Inzaghi does. He will prioritize certain games over the other. The league is the most important at the moment for you guys in regards to winning it, because you want to keep that league. Do you know what I mean? And retain it. So I can understand it, but this team at the moment, listen, Saka, Havertz at striker, I'm all up for that. Trossard on the left, after the last performance that I saw, I don't know. I don't think he warrants a start in my personal opinion.
Mm.
After what we just saw against Newcastle, I don't think he warrants a start in my personal opinion. In regards to the midfield, I would hope that Odegaard would be available. If he is and he's able to start, given that he's technically only had one training session with the team, we don't know, but there's been players like Saka, like Timber, who only had one training session, and they got brought in straight away and played against Liverpool. Do you know what I mean? So this is the thing. We legit don't know what the midfield is gonna be now that Declan Rice is out of it, because that would have been the midfield that he probably would have gone with, and then I would have started throwing up. But yeah, because that's the midfield that's the midfield of death, man. That's the midfield, and when I say midfield of death, not to the other team, to ourselves. So
Yeah.
we don't attack when we play that midfield. So this is the only worrying thing for me, is that we leave ourselves in such a situation where we really don't need to play that midfield. We can play an attacking player in there. Now, is he gonna put in the likes of, now that Declan Rice is out of there, and let's say, for instance, Erdegaard is not available, is this gonna leave some space for him to maybe put some trust in Ethan Manieri? Maybe for him to come in and play as that number 10? Or is he going to play Trossard in that 10 again? So it's very interesting. If he puts Havertz in the midfield, Inter will run the midfield with ease, and we won't touch the ball because Havertz will hide all the time. So yeah, it's defense. I don't mind that defense. To be
Yeah.
honest, that defense is fine.
Your defense, I've been a big fan of all season, especially the centre back pairing of Gabriel and Saliba. It's just in the last few weeks they've started to look shaky, and it can happen. It can happen to almost any back line in the world. They're going to have to be very, very focused in this one because at the end of the day, our biggest vex is not taking our chances properly. We create a lot of chances, man.
Yeah.
We're a creating machine under Inzaghi, which is why we love him so much. It's the most attractive brand of football we as Inter fans have seen. It's way more attractive than under Antonio Conte, way more attractive than under Jose Mourinho when he won the treble, or Roberto Mancini when he was winning Scudetti in the turn of the millennium, early 2000s. This is the most attractive brand of football we've ever seen. And it just so happens that a lot of the time, Lautaro Martinez and Marcus Thuram do struggle to convert their chances. In an ideal world, they'd have 3-4 goals a game, man. That's how many opportunities they get.
Marcus Thuram, man.
Oh, man.
Bro,
you guys
sometimes
like
I'm watching him and I pull my hair out, bro. I'm like, bro, yeah, well, like, it's just what is you just all you have to do is get on target.
That's it. He does everything else. He does all the hard work. He's a fantastic, bro. I love him so much. If he had an end product, I'd be saying this guy's unsellable. But because of his end product and because of his lack of focus, there's always a price tag on everyone, isn't there?
Yeah, 100%. And that's the thing. Yeah. 100%.
This is how apparently we're supposed to go into this game. I don't think that Inzaghi rotates like this. If anything, he's putting fake energy out there to confuse some people, because in a match at home against Arsenal, you're going to start your captain. You're going to start Lautaro. I think Lautaro starts next to Taremi or Thuram. Di Marco, Mkhitaryan, Chala, Barella, Dumfries. You might see Fratesi in there for Barella instead. De Vrij, Bastoni, and Pavard will most likely be the back three. Hopefully, he chooses to go with Pavard over Jan Bisek. We like Bisek. Bisek is young. He's energetic. He's fantastic. He's going to renew his contract, and I have no doubt he'll end up at Bayern Munich or a big club at some point for a good fee. However, we can't go into this game playing this sort of side because we're pissing away a chance to go on the front foot really, really early. If we start Lautaro and Barella, we'll come out of the gates absolutely firing. If we go a little bit more conservative and say don't start with Barella and start with a Fratesi or a Zielinski, we could be looking at retaining the ball side to side and not exactly pressing you until the going gets good. So we'll see what happens there. And big up Sareda for your donation to Saad's channel.
Big up.
Bro. Altogether, I think we look. I'm not going to sit here as champions and say that we shouldn't go into this with chest as favorites. Otherwise, what's the point in being champions of your country at home, playing against a side who are not champions or who haven't won the league title? And that's no disrespect to Arsenal altogether. It's just a matter of speaking fundamentally. We're the champions. It's our home ground. We need to go into this knowing that 3 points is the objective. Yeah, if you draw, it's not the biggest deal in the world, but I don't even want to start talking about that because the boys should be going into this wanting 3 points. I'm going to predict a narrow 2-1 pain in the Arsenal victory. But we'll see what happens, man. If Lautaro starts, he scores because he just broke a 246-day home streak. I couldn't believe when it was that many days, man. When I saw that post, I was like, nah, come on. I know I hate on him all the time, but 246 days since he scored at home? Really? Our captain, our striker, our $10 million man. Thank God he got that monkey off his shoulder, bro.
Yeah, that's 100%. It's an important one, man. It's an important one. By the way, Sareda, I know you're saying Saad, is Ash gonna be the jinx on the jinx along? He's not gonna be on the watch along. It's too late for him. He's not gonna jinx this one. Yeah, he jinxed every single other one. He's not gonna jinx this one, man. I'm on to Ash. It's a whole watch along thing. Anytime he's on, we've only won one match when he's done the watch along, so it's just an ongoing thing. But listen, I think. The thing is, I see the whole thing about Inzaghi possibly benching or resting players for the game against Napoli on the weekend. I just want to ask: is that reality? Does he normally do like stuff like this, where he says he's going to bench someone, but he doesn't, and he actually plays them?
He doesn't actually say much. That's the thing about Inzaghi, which is why you never trust anything that comes out from the media. Inzaghi's not one of those grifters with the media where he says something and then just says another thing. He will very much so wait until it's his time to speak. He's not a reactionary manager. He sticks to the procedure. He sticks to his scheduled conferences. He doesn't say anything out of anger or emotion. He's very straightforward when we don't get a good result. And I think that even he doesn't know in the back of his head what his final decision is going to be, because he does chop and change with lineups a fair bit, and he does change tactical substitution approaches a fair bit. Inzaghi will be looking at a couple of different mistakes he has made already this season. The first big mistake was rotating 6 or 7 starters against Monza in the league for our game against Manchester City. I get it. The Manchester City was a big fixture and we had to go in guns blazing, but we played a really poor team against Monza and we suffered with a very bad 1-1 result. That result trickled into the Milan derby, which cost us the 2-1. They cost us a win there. We walked out of Man City with a respectable point. I don't hear any victory. I didn't see 3 points that entire 8 days. We drew to Monza, we lost to Milan, we drew to City. That's fucked. We don't do that shit. So that's a big mistake. That was the first mistake, and it happened very early in the season. We've had a couple of games in Serie A where it looks very shaky. The 3-2 win against Torino and Udinese were not great results. The 1-0 against Roma was not a great game, and the 4-2 against Juve was not a great game. We're setting very high standards at the moment because when you look at it, you'd be like, what's this guy complaining about? He's 1 point off top spot. The team's looking fine. They're looking good. But at the end of the day, we know how quickly that can slip away. We really do. I think he's got his eyes on Napoli, but at the same time, Inzaghi's not the type of coach to throw away a home fixture against a massive club like Arsenal. He's very smart. He's got a high footballing IQ. He knows he's not welcoming Red Star Belgrade. You are not Shakhtar Donetsk. You are not Celtic. You are not Rangers. You are Arsenal, and we need to beat Arsenal for Inter. It's very important for our club, our structure, our image as a whole to keep up this trajectory of being relevant in Europe because our financial economic situation has been in the pits for 5 years now. It wasn't meant to go like this, Saad. We're meant to be mid-table right now. Go and ask any Juve fan or AC Milan fan. They will tell you it wasn't meant to go like this. Conte was meant to leave. The assistant coach Oriali was meant to leave. They did. We sold Lukaku. We sold Hakimi. God willing, Christian Eriksen had a horrible situation. And Inzaghi comes in and he didn't win the Scudetto in the first season. Everyone's like, that's it. Inter will fall off. They will sell everybody to maintain this. But we have, in my opinion, the best technical director in Italy, possibly in Europe, in Beppe Marotta. If you don't know who he is, I'm very disappointed in Judge Mo for not filtering this name so catastrophically through the English. Bro, that name should be seeping like a virus into the EPL content world. He's the guy. He's a don. The way he was able to execute his signings to keep us above water, to keep Inzaghi here, to challenge for the league, to win 2 Coppa Italias, 2 Super Cups, make the Champions League final, and then win the league title. We're here today because of the hustle and grind that we put together in the back room and on the pitch. Nothing else. We were not given anything to get back to where we were. So we need to keep it up because if we fall off, we ain't got no insurance policy. We are not Man United. We're not Arsenal. We don't have that sort of marketability. We're huge in Italy, but we are still a medium-sized fish in a large pond when it comes to the grand scheme of European football. We need this victory, so I hope that we get it, bro.
Yeah, listen, I think similar thing for us, man, to be honest. We're in a situation right now where performances have not been the best. I wish we were scraping through games and winning them, but we've not even been doing that. So the thing is now this is our time where we need to go out there and put performance out. Show the fans, you know what? Yeah, we've been a bit shit over the last few weeks, but this is what we can do. And if you go out there and you win against Inter Milan at home at the San Siro, that is massive. That is you saying, you know what? I'm putting my stamp. I'm stamping down my authority, and I'm saying this is what I can do. Yeah, if I'm backed into a corner, the claws come out, and I'm able to hurt teams. And if we can go out there and get a result at the San Siro, it is massive. I'm going to applaud the boys because we all know how hard it is to go to the San Siro. The fans are very, very loud. And that place becomes a cauldron as well when everybody's in there and it starts going off, especially on the Champions League night. It is loud. So we all know what happens in that stadium. But this is a must win. It's not a must win for us. I'd take a draw because obviously we're playing away from home. But if we can get a win, that's massive. And if he does end up making a mistake, which obviously you said Inzaghi probably won't because he has a very good footballing IQ, but if he does make any sort of mistake and rests players and they look weak, then that's the time where I look at Arteta and I look at the team, and these men need to go there and say if Inter show us any sort of like a moment where they look like they can be got at or they can be hurt, we have to go in for the kill. And that's what you have to do in the Champions League. If they show you any sort of any part of them that looks like you can hurt them there, you have to go for it and you have to kill it. Because if you don't, it's done. Do you know what I mean? You ain't gonna get another chance. So you have to take it, man. And the San Siro, this is why you're in the Champions League, bro. You go to these massive teams and you play at these massive arenas that are full of history, bro. So I'm excited, but I'm also wary, and I'm also hoping and praying that my team can go out there and put a performance to be proud of, and go out there and get a win.
Sounds good, bro. Sounds good. Man, thank you so much for coming in today. AC Milan have just scored against Real Madrid, which is definitely my cue to get up and go to work, if that's the case, man. Fucking hell, cuz. Fucking hell, bro. The amount of times... The amount of times me and my boys looked at the Madrid lineup 2 months ago and went, they'll win every game this season. They have been arsed so far. They'll come together. They'll come together. Don't worry. There's plenty of time left for that squad to come together. But yeah, we'll see. Anyway, guys, make sure if you are from Interworldwide that you're going off to Saad's Football Corner and subscribing straight away. Make sure that's the first thing that you do. We are also approaching 4K on this channel. We're about 20 away. So any newbies on here, I'll really, really appreciate a follow as well. And yeah, I look forward to collaborating way more with Saad. I've got a second channel where all I do is whinge and moan about Manchester United. I've created that a few weeks ago. Bro, believe it or not, I actually had a Man United jersey before I had my Inter gear, man. When I was 5 years old, I got given a sharp jersey with Cole on the back. I'm like, yeah, this will do. This will do for now. Because, like, as I said, bro, you couldn't catch any football here except EPL back in the day.
Yeah.
And I'm still really, really glad.
Do you still follow its main, your main team is Inter, but your if you were Prem team, that means yes.
The blood never changes, bro. The ties back to the homeland never change. That's for sure.
That means yes, basically. Man, just showed me a tattoo on the chest. I was like,
yeah.
Yes. Inter is life, and then Man United is like the side thing that you just look at and you just.
That's it, cuz. He knows. So yeah, if you want to see me whinge and moan excessively about that shit show of a club, I'll drop a link in the chat right now for that as well, because, you know, who doesn't hate Manchester United? Saad, this was awesome. I have a feeling that you and I are going to collaborate a lot more soon, and I look forward to coming on your channel next time.
100%, man. Gas for it, man. I'm ready for it. Big ups for having me, guys. Like we said, make sure to go and subscribe, man. Make sure to go and subscribe. Obviously, Anthony said subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. But also, you guys have to subscribe to Anthony's channel, Interworldwide. It's massive, bro. Do you know what I mean? You're almost at 4K.
Yes, sir.
Guys, I'm sure there's 20 of you that are watching on my channel. Just get him to 20K. Get him to 4K. 20K, inshallah, of course. But right now, let's get him to 4K. I'm sure there's 20 of you. Don't be a bum. Go over to his channel and subscribe, Yahi. Okay? Come on, guys.
Bro.
All we're doing is asking.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, bro. I really appreciate that, Shukran, brother. All right, bro, let's do this. Inter versus Arsenal. We'll be here post-match reaction.